Mr. Netanyahu has long wanted to fight Iran because that way he can stay in office forever and ever. I mean, he's been there most of the last 20 years. I think we should be trying to defuse it.
As a seasoned veteran in politics, Clinton doesn't say much, but he was ruthless and directly exposed Netanyahu's ambition. The real reason he's clinging to Iran so tightly, even at the cost of dragging the entire region into war, is not for any grand strategy, but to prevent himself from being imprisoned. In March 2026, the domestic judicial pressure on Netanyahu has reached a critical point. This corruption trial, which began in 2020, involves 3 felony charges: bribery, fraud, and breach of public trust. If convicted, he could face a maximum sentence of 10 to 13 years in prison. For a man in his 70s, this is basically the end of his political career, and even the end of his life. At the end of last year, he tried to seek a pardon from Israeli President Herzog, hoping to secure immunity through a political deal, but this path was blocked. Israel's judicial system has been unusually impartial this time. Despite external pressure, the trial process has continued steadily. Witnesses appeared in court one after another, and the evidence chain has been tightening. This leads to the second key point: war has become his only lifeline. In peacetime, Netanyahu is just an accused on trial, but in wartime, he becomes the country's leader. Clinton understood this clearly. Only by maintaining a state of national emergency can he justifiably postpone or even suspend the judicial process. Look how perfectly the timeline lines up. In February 2026, just as the domestic trial entered a critical stage, Netanyahu urgently flew to Washington, vigorously lobbying for the US and Israel to join forces to attack Iran. Consequently, on February the 28th, the US and Israel launched large-scale airstrikes against Iran. Once this war started, Netanyahu's logic was reasonable. As long as the gunfire continues, the country will be in a state of crisis. At this time, changing the leader is a taboo, and the trial can be pushed back even further. He can even stand in front of the camera, loudly declaring this a historical victory, using domestic emotions to coerce public opinion, making any voice of opposition seem inappropriate. Trump may seem to have been dragged into the war by Netanyahu, but in reality, this is also a conspiracy of mutual interests. Israel uses US military power to destroy Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities, weaken the resistance axis, and consolidate its regional hegemony. In turn, the US uses Israel's security demands and lobbying pressure to achieve multiple goals: containing Iran, maintaining its hegemony in the Middle East, and consolidating its domestic political foundation. Israel is the instigator, and the US is the main executor. Both sides get what they need. However, the direction of the war has long been beyond the control of the two leaders. Iran's Mosaic defense has begun to show its power, with cheap loitering missiles able to severely damage US F-35 stealth fighters. Trump's 48-hour ultimatum was met with a firm counterattack, and the international community has repeatedly urged restraint. How will this war, ignited by personal selfishness, ultimately end? Follow me, and next time I'll take you to see through whether Trump can get out unscathed and keep his promise to end the war.